I've been called many things, but I am known as Dr. Sebi, your brother. I have been called at some point Dr. Sebi, the forever changing traveler. This was done by you sisters. But in my life, it began with Mama Hay. That's my nickname, acquired from my grandmother that I was always with. My grandfather was a Haitian. My grandmother from Belize. But these two hooked up nice because all they talk about was Africa. Africa, Africa, Africa. I grew up listening to Africa, about Africa. And I learned to like Africa. And I remember my first time to Africa was in 1956. I was happy to go to Johannesburg, to South Africa, not Johannesburg, but to Cape Town. I was happy because Africa is the geography of our genesis. But over the years, all I could hear about Africa from the people in New Orleans and round and about these Africans. Now that 52 or 60 years have gone by, I no longer hear this African. I hear this African descendant. I don't know who is an African descendant. I am an African or not? What is it? I am an African. My DNA is not an African descendant. It's African. But because philosophy seemed to have risen to a height that eclipsed all that which is natural, Africa representing the natural doesn't look too encouraging, but it doesn't look palatable, doesn't taste right. Because when I see it, these brothers are jumping around without no clothes on. Yep, they're running around without any clothes. But if you carelessly misinterpret that, you will find yourself at a deficit. You see the body breathe through the skin, not only the nostrils. When you take your clothes off, you immediately relax. It doesn't cost any money. But I am subjected to the philosophy of the existing times. I was told that I was a sinner and a savage, and that I dance in fire. All this was said about me. And I am listening to all of this all through my life. And do you know that I have never heard anyone in the field of anthropology, archaeology, paleontology, that really describes the African the way he should be described, but a Mexican is going to talk about Africa the way that I have never heard. So I grew up with this Africanness in me, not able to put it in any perspective because everybody is anti-Africa. It was about Herodotus and Pliny. It was about philosophy. And Africa didn't have a philosophy. What you mean? They cannot compete. Compete in what? And why they needed a philosophy. So I grew up hoping that one day I would be able to see beyond the negative. And boy, did that day come. That day came. It came in the form of a dream. And I began to pay attention. Remember when they said to us, honor thy mother and thy father? Well, where did our mother and father came from? The jungles of Africa. But what did they say about the jungles? It's nasty. It's dangerous. But in reality, it is clean. It is alkali. It is electrical. So yes, I have turned my eyes on Africa and I have learned a lot and still learning. Today, Dr. Sebi was invited with some of the presidents and secretary to the president of Guinea to come and heal him and others. Why should I go to Africa to heal someone that represent the genesis of our beginning? Oh, it's easy to understand that. It isn't that the African is handicapped or that he doesn't have the science or the way to get to from A to B. He never had to do it. You see, Africa was never sick. Africa became sick in the last 500 years. Prior to 500 years, Africa didn't have any vaccine. Africa didn't have any Ebola. Africa didn't have any AIDS, and Africa didn't have any protein. Today, my home is sick. Africa is sick. Is it my duty to stand by, sit by, and see that a lot of things is being offered to the continent that I know affects the biology of the people, eventually weakening the fiber of the country? Africa is sick, but yet they are pumping them up with vaccines, with all kind of serums and proteins. They are selling Africa shiploads of chicken, shiploads of pork meat, and cancer is being found in Congo at age 8, something never before heard of. Sebi, I am not the most important person in the arrangement of the black world. I am the least of the important person in the black world. All I am is a servant, you know. So what does he want? How should we even position this individual that claimed that he could do all of this?
Nurse therapy, nurse therapy. You wanted in room 207. Okay, buddy. See right here, you lack of love, lack of self-esteem, lack of self-awareness, we got something for you. Therapy definitely has something for you. You'll be all right, buddy. She'll be right here in a minute. Just sit back for a minute, take a little bit of this. Here you go. And she'll be here with you shortly, all right? Kick your shoes off.
Okay.
Situations change, so I change with them to gain. And I got me a campaign to strengthen my name. If I can see the bottom, look up and spot the top, I'm in the middle. The center is my stop, the world is my shop. But items of need for y'all to purchase. This for the blind and the deaf who seek the speech that's hopeless thinking. Dream is the world, losing their focus when all they seen was a quarter of their life. And that quarter could have been that quarter of white or that brave grade D. Lord forbid, that's not the way a younger should live. All the dangers that we get caught in, trapping for bread.
A little bit of therapy. Don't matter which the closer we get. The closer we bring a little therapy. A little bit. Give them a dose of that shit. A dose of that shit. A little bit of therapy. They ill and out of line. They ill and out of line. They need a little therapy. They need a little therapy. Look at y'all need therapy. First you gotta let your mind be free. I've been through something